a lot had changed from the recession because it became clear to me that I needed to change my leadership style.
Yes.
And learn how to be a better leader to the team.
Yes.
Well, welcome back to the Plan Forward podcast. And I'm Jeff Forward, and today we have my wife, Monica Forward, joining us. And we're going to be diving into something personal. What's it like to work with your spouse? People always ask us, how do you manage to run a business together and still enjoy each other's company?
It is certainly not always easy.
No, it's not, but I find it to be super fun as of late, like, the last 10 years or so.
Yes.
And so today we're going to be pulling back the curtain and sharing the secrets that make it all work for us. So I'll be asking you some questions.
Okay.
I'll be asking Monica some questions about how we've navigated this journey together and how it's shaped the way we run our business.
All right.
And I think it's obviously for the better. So a little sneak peek for everyone. What we're going to be covering today is, number one, how do we define our roles to avoid unnecessary conflict? Number two, the communication practices that keep us aligned. And number three, how working together as spouses actually turns out to benefit our team and therefore our clients.
All right.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. So let's start with the foundation. How do we divide responsibilities and make sure we're not stepping on each other's toes?
So I think for us, it's been an evolution. It's been a learning process.
Yes, it has.
You've had the company for 28 years and we've been together for 26. So by default, I've been a part of it for 26 years in various roles, as I was in real estate when we first met and sold homes here in Ann Arbor for several years. So initially I would open the mail, pay the bills, do just the admin items that weren't your strength, help with home tours, those types of things.
Still not my strength.
Still not. And as time went on, we had our first child, and a year into his time with us, he got very high needs. He was a 1-year-old that was moving a lot and he couldn't go show houses anymore. So not having family in the area, I decided to step back from real estate and come join you at the company.
Right.
Initially, it was kind of the same thing. Where's the holes? What do you need done? And it worked, but it created a lot of stepping on each other's toes, I think, for us.
Or tension.
In that I didn't really know what you needed me to do. You were used to doing everything yourself. And so we struggled a little bit. But we kind of went through that for a couple of years until we got pregnant with twins.
Right. Yeah. In the initial days, I had a lot of trouble delegating.
Yes. And letting anyone complete something.
Right.
So during the twin pregnancy, we also went through the recession, which was really pivotal for the company and for us.
Absolutely.
As a couple. And I wasn't able to continue working for a couple of years while they were home. And then 10 years ago, decided it was time. Came back to work and came back in a very different way than I did the first time.
Right. And a lot had changed from the recession because it became clear to me that I needed to change my leadership style.
Yes.
And learn how to be a better leader to the team.
Yes. So the coming back to a company that looked different after the recession, I had to find my place differently. So I came back and used my maiden name because the first time I felt I was the boss's wife and I didn't like that feeling. And I clearly said, I need my own role. Like, I'm going to be here and I'm going to create value for the company if that's how I'm going to stay. So we figured that out. We shared an office and worked on top of each other and quickly realized that was not going to work. So we found a new building and moved our offices to opposite sides of the building so we could have a little bit of distance, and eventually saw the hole in estimating and approached you for that role.
Right. And I remember turning you down.
Flat, yeah.
Flat. We had several qualified candidates, and You just didn't have that experience.
Correct.
And you came back again. You wouldn't take no for an answer, which was great. Obviously, it worked out really well. But my business coaches at the time also really cautioned us both against doing that. But you took the test and you aced the test better than any of the other candidates. And it was, we also, with our disc testing, you totally aligned for the project. And when I realized that, it was kind of like, well, okay, that's what we're going to do. We knew it would be a challenge, but it worked out.
I think it definitely was the most seamless transition we had in working together.
Yes.
In that it became apparent very quickly that numbers and the business side was my strength, and the
Right.
creative design and marketing was your strength. And we stayed in those appropriate lanes and crossed when we needed to, and definitely respected each other's decisions in those lanes so that we didn't have second guessing or anyone trying to override a decision. And that helped the team understand who their resources were, and that very quickly changed the course of the company.
Right. And looking at this with, defining our roles, staying in our lanes, how does this benefit the team?
I know the team has very clear understanding of what each one of us does and what our strengths are. And so if somebody needs a design direction, they're going to clearly go to you. If they can't get to you, they come to me to get to you. If they need marketing, same thing. If they need approval on a budget or the estimator's out of town, then they come to me. And it's not ever a decision.
The current estimator.
Current estimator, yes. It's never a decision of, there's never a question of, do I need to go to Jeff and make sure what Monica said is okay? Or do I need to go to Monica and make sure what Jeff said is okay? They
Right.
know that we're going to back each other in our decisions. And so it creates a much clearer path of getting to resolutions for everybody.
Okay, great. It's fun to relive this in an odd way.
Growth is good.
Yes, growth is good. So moving on to communication practices, we know communication is huge, especially when you're balancing work life and home life. So can you share what practices that we've been actually doing over the years?
So you mentioned earlier the DISC assessment. It's an assessment that we use here very religiously. We have a big chart in our office that shows where everyone sits on the DISC chart, so you can quickly identify who you align with and how people communicate, and everyone has access to their full DISC profiles. And it just helps you know how to praise someone, how to challenge someone in a way that they will respond to.
Right.
It's an assessment we've both taken a couple of times as everybody changes over the years. It's an assessment that you've referenced during personal disagreements to help find a quicker, more seamless resolution.
And it worked.
And it works very well. I found out about it after the resolution, so I was a little annoyed that it works so well. But that definitely helps at home and here. We also share our Google calendars. We have daily conversations and downloads. We have 3 kids, so we have a very active calendar.
Yes.
And we have to not just get through the workday, but get through the end of the day with them. So constant communication of who's doing what. And then our weekly happy hour that we've done for going on 20 years.
Oh my gosh, it has been that long.
And it started out very social.
Flying by.
Became more, okay, we're going to take 2 hours and talk about work and download the week. And then some days we say, okay, no work, please. Although one of us usually will trickle back in there and find that at least that time at the end of the week to decompress and get back on the same page with everything. And that, for me, that has been something that when, life gets in the way and we haven't been able to do that, that's a big disruptor. So that's been an important part for us too.
Right. So let's talk about off work. How are we handling that conversation when we shouldn't be having that conversation?
I think we try really hard not to take work home, but we enjoy our work and we're together a lot. So it's natural that we're going to have a work topic that comes up personally. We try to hold each other accountable to either limit it or table it until the next day if it's something that's not urgent, and put a pin in it, so to speak.
Right. And that takes some perseverance on our part to thinking about something and then purposely pausing and like at least, hey, raising the question, but we're not going to talk about it so we can come back to it later.
Right.
So kind of with this concept of communication is huge. How do our practices actually benefit our team?
I think our ability to fine tune how we communicate with each other translates to the team. We are pretty emotionally open people. And so
Yes.
that comes to work with us. And by being able to do that with the team and show that vulnerability, it helps them feel heard and supported and in a safe enough space that they can openly communicate back. And the more
Right.
we communicate, the easier this whole process is.
Yes. And it's, it's a pretty big process. Remodeling somebody's home, remodeling how they live in their house takes a lot of work and effort, and having a team that's 100% together is a huge part of finding success.
It's key.
So let's connect and kind of try to tie this all back to the business. How does our partnership directly benefit the people we work with and our clients? And I know we just talked about it, but I think there's a bigger element that I want to get to.
I think for us, our core value, one of our big core values is a happy team. And, a happy team means happy clients. And by building that trust, that collaboration, showing that vulnerability, we're keeping our team creative and engaged and in sync. And that translates to our clients.
That's well said. We've covered a lot today. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes, my closing thought would be working together as a married couple is not for everyone. When I shared with the team this morning our topic, 3 people immediately said I would never do that. Don't know how you guys do this every day. But for us, it's definitely been a positive. It's 3. It's been a positive experience for us in that I think it's made us closer as a team, as a family, as a couple. And we have learned a lot from each other. We've learned a lot about how to communicate with each other, because we don't just do it in a personal world. We have to do it in a business world. And it's been something that I've enjoyed and happy that I came back.
Yeah, me too. I've been having more fun year after year since you've come back. It's been just a great experience. So thank you for coming back.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thanks for joining us today as we share what it's like to work with each other as spouses and how it benefits our team and therefore benefits our clients. If you want to learn more about how we deliver a stress-free remodeling process, check out our next episode. Why should you care about a seamless experience? It's packed with tips to help you avoid common remodeling headaches. And don't forget to subscribe and download our free guide to get started on your own project. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.